Joy Reid, one of the faces of MSNBC, who is just, full-throated Democrat. And here is a quick, it's like 20 seconds, analysis trying to figure out what went wrong in the election.
And so what you've seen in the last couple of weeks, if this is an audition for managing a complex organization like the United States, Kamala Harris has passed the audition flawlessly. This has been, in many ways, a perfect campaign. Barely any time to put it together. But just as a managerial matter, it's been brilliantly done. And so what you've seen in the last...
A perfect campaign. She lost.
It was a perfect campaign.
You know, if you search real closely, you might find one imperfection with the campaign: the fact that it lost and it did not work.
Well, there's also the fact that no one ever voted for Kamala Harris to ever be in any of the positions she's in.
She's had chances to get votes in the past.
She was not voted into vice president. Now, no one is, but she was not voted into that. And she was, by the way, that primary where she was selected for vice president, she lost horrifically. And she was not voted to be the presidential candidate. So that could be a bit of the problem with the campaign. There is that.
Mm-hmm. How many votes did she get in 2020? Like in the primaries, like 3, 4?
And I thought it was 4.5.
Might have been 4.5. Yeah.
Then there's the fact that the Democrats have failed to represent the American people in like any way over the past 4 years. There's been a borderline zero effort to actually help people in a real way. Instead, hundreds of billions of dollars are sent to Ukraine to bomb people that the vast majority of the American people say they want that proxy war to be over. They do not support it continuing. Sending missiles every 36 hours to a genocide in Gaza, where you have most Americans, especially younger Americans, not supporting that at all. There's a long list of ways that the Democrats have been horrific to the American people, not representing anything that they claim to represent. And yet this was the perfect campaign.
Yeah, like Republicans lie, but at least they offer, Republicans will be like, life is hard because of immigrants, which is a lie. But then Democrats will be like, life is actually not hard. You're actually wrong if you think that.
They're different kinds of lies. They're like Donald Trump. I'd say one of the biggest lies he told throughout the entire campaign was he pretended that Kamala Harris was some other human being than she is, and that she's leftist and Marxist and loves Palestinians, and they have their own kind of
a Palestinian, right? Something like that.
So so the Republicans have their own kind of lies, but they then act on that false reality that they created. Like, he will help continue to bomb Palestinians. Like, he will try his best to deport as many immigrants as he can. Whereas the Democrats, it's the reverse of what they claimed. Like, they somewhat claim to care a little more about immigrants, at least than the Republicans, and yet they deported more immigrants than Trump did by a large margin. It's like, yes, there are lies on massive amounts of lies on both sides, but the Democrats are the ones who come out and do the exact opposite of everything they claim to sometimes stand for or whatever. But
yeah, as it's very interesting and strange with the Latino vote this election, because like you said, normally Democrats will lie and say they care about migrants, but this time around we had Kamala trying to copy Trump and trying to be like, no, we're also going to be hard on the border. And so it's like, yeah, why would so many Latino voters vote for Trump if you're pretty much offering the exact same thing? Right. Well, then you might as well vote for the guy who thought of the idea in the first place than like this cheap copy.
Well, yeah, exactly. If you're getting the same stance from the two sides, Kamala and Donald Trump, then why is it all these Latinos are supposed to flood out into the voting booths to support, I don't know, the same shit?
Exactly. I want to be deported by this weird lady with a cackling laugh. It's like, no, go to the original guy, the guy who at least has some charisma, who is a liar, but you know what I mean? At least he came up with that. At least he gets credit for that.
Yeah, he has a faux populism that a lot of people buy into, whereas she didn't even have that. He is able to lie and grab a lot of people. They somehow appreciate that. They view him as daddy, and daddy's going to save us. She never even, she wasn't even able to grab people with lies.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't do it with lies or with truth.